Okay.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Again, we're excited to have you here, and I am excited for our next speaker. We are going to be hearing from Lori Bruton, which I have not worked very closely with Lori, so I'm learning more about her amazing story and heard some of that last evening. So I'm excited to hear what she has to share with us today. A little more about Lori. Lori is a fun-loving, faith-filled, best-selling author, certified speaker, and breakthrough coach. Her journey and personal story brought her from breakdown to breakthrough, resulting in lasting transformation. She helps the brokenhearted who are stuck, struggling, and settling to break free from toxic relationships and overcome obstacles using the Lori Factor recipe. She mixes the ingredients of alignment techniques, holistic tools, and transformative writing. She invites you to taste and see how her recipe can enrich your life, fill you with endless love, and discover your true identity. You'll be able to connect with Lori on Facebook at Lori Bruton Biz, and again on Instagram it's the same at Lori Bruton Biz, or at her link tree, which is linktr.ee/the Lori Factor. So we're excited to have her here. Excited to hear from you, Lori.
Thank you, Gwen.
Take it away.
All right. Well, hi, I'm Lori, as you just heard. It's a privilege to be here with all of you today. It's the most wonderful time of the year. A season that is meant to bring joy and cheer. But for some, it may be bittersweet due to loss, loneliness, or a sense of discouragement and defeat. I remember a season when I was in love with a man who brought music into my life. I thought I was happy until I realized it was a toxic relationship that wasn't in tune with who I am. How many of you have had a toxic relationship in your life? How many of you know that habits of self-sabotage have held you back from living a fulfilling life? Me too. I could raise both hands on that one. During that season of my life, I needed to make a decision to stay in the comfortable, familiar pain, or to step into the unfamiliar, a little scary.
Yeah.
So, are there decisions that you've been afraid to make? That fear can get you every time, right? Thankfully, I found the courage to break free from that toxic relationship. And I soon realized it was just the beginning. The harder truth was that I wasn't just in a toxic relationship with that music man. I was in a toxic relationship with myself. My thoughts and behaviors revealed a deeper pattern. I was stuck, feeling hopeless, and living with constant stress. That wasn't the real me. How many of you have experienced dis-ease from stress? Did you know that unhealed hurts can present as physical sickness? Toxic thoughts and patterns get stored in our cells. I experienced this firsthand through stress, anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and a suicide attempt. The extreme stress even contributed to getting hit with Bell's palsy in 2019. At first, I wanted to hide my face, but now I see my face as beautiful because it tells a story of how I am about how we define our words and our perspective and how we see ourselves and our circumstances. When we're stuck, it's often a sign that a basic need isn't being met. Self-sabotage emerges when we feel undervalued and unworthy. It shows up in three main ways, which are all forms of avoidance and escape. Number one, procrastination. Putting off the things we know we need to do. Number two, self-medicating, whether it's drugs, alcohol, food, TV, social media, the list goes on. Number three, perfection. Setting the bar so high that it's just always out of reach. So what happens? What's the effects of that? Well, this can lead to shutting down, burning out, or giving up. We get frustrated and discouraged with ourselves and feel guilty. I was traveling that road of guilt and shame, and it almost cost me my life. I love to travel and take road trips, but I learned never to pack for a guilt trip. But here's the good news. There's a better path. For me, it began with my belief in God and His unending love. God is my rock and foundation in everything I do. When I let go of Him once, it didn't go well. It was not well with my soul. In fact, Jesus is the reason for this season. And He is the greatest gift of all. One of the gifts that was given to baby Jesus was frankincense. There are many benefits of frankincense. And I'll talk more about that later when I mention essential oils and how they are one of my transformation tools. But for now, let's get back to love. What's love got to do? Got to do it. Remember that Tina Turner song? Love has everything to do with it. It's not just a second-hand emotion. Yes, our hearts do get broken. Has your heart been broken? Guess what? I have something good to tell you. God came to heal your broken heart. My favorite book says, there's a time for everything and a season for every activity. A time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Turn up the music. Make this your time to dance. So, we can taste and see our best lives. Yes, there are weather patterns in each season, but we develop patterns too. Some that harm us, not help us. So what can you do? There is hope. You don't have to settle, give up, or stay stuck. Did you know that repressed trauma and tragedy from the past may be out of sight, but they're definitely not out of mind? What do I mean by that? Memories are imprinted in our cells for better or worse. Memories like the corners of my mind. Remember that Barbra Streisand song? You don't have to stay the way you were or are, unless you want to. Leave behind the scattered pictures. Paint a new picture of the life you were born to live. Those stored negative emotions need to be replaced with happiness, hope, and courage. You can reprogram your mind and body and rewrite your story. Speaking of stories, I get a million. I wrote books that share some of my stories with the intent of helping others have hope, experience transformation, and I also help some write their own books. My first book is called Whole to Whole, H-O-L-E to W-H-O-L-E, Journey to Hope and Transformation. And the next book I wrote is called The Lori Factor, Live the Life You Were Born to Live. And thankfully, Les Brown wrote the foreword to that book. So I didn't just write these books for me. I knew I had to be courageous and give the message because it's going to change and maybe even save some lives. It didn't just give my life a new meaning, the Lori Factor. It gave me a message of hope to share with everyone who hears my voice. And it gives me the opportunity to use my gift of writing. Get ready. Write this down as I share what each letter of the Lori Factor represents. L stands for loving yourself and getting a larger vision of yourself beyond your circumstances. Look up and see yourself through God's lens of love. O is for overcoming your obstacles with optimism. That mindset will shift how you show up for yourself and for others. R represents reinventing and redefining yourself. Make choices that align with your dreams and goals. I means investing in yourself and discover your true identity. The most important investment you'll ever make is in yourself. Nurture your emotional and physical well-being to create a stable foundation. To recap, L is loving yourself in a larger vision. O, overcoming obstacles with optimism. R, reinventing and redefining yourself. And I, investing in yourself and true identity. Today, I stand before you, fully embracing who I am and knowing my true identity. I've become not just an author and speaker, but also a breakthrough coach and a book coach. And of course, I'll need to add in there, one of my greatest roles in life is a mother. I have two grown sons and I better not go there. I use tools and techniques that get results. I've learned to love myself fully and authentically. And you have that same power in each one of you. Are you playing too small? Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You have so much potential. Go ahead, take that leap. I care about you. And I want to see you soar. Your story matters. Your voice deserves to be heard. I have a word for you. You are coming out of a silent season. You are worthy of living life at your highest potential. It's time to write your book. Well, what if you don't do anything to improve your situation? Whether or not you want to write a book. You can miss out on the life you were meant to live. Transformation is waiting for you, literally. I actually have a bottle of transformation oil It happens to be empty because, you know, it's popular. But you still are able to smell the remnants of it.
Lori, would you like me to pass around frankincense?
Yes, frankincense would be great.
Everyone wants to take a drop of the frankincense.
Frankincense is one of my favorites. In fact, frankincense oil is in the blend of transformation oil. So that is good. So yes, that is one of the tools I use is Young Living. I have some of my favorite oils, and the Ninja Red. Oh my goodness, don't take it away from me because can't be without it. It makes such a difference. So, Young Living essential oils. Why? They work. The quality. I don't care what's in them. All I know is they work, and it's a great company that I have been loyal to. And yes, I've, been introduced to other things, but they don't give me the same results. So for me, that's been my choice, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. So as you smell the bottles going around, you can let your senses be revitalized. And I love frankincense because it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's used for so many things, but we won't get into the details of that right now. But transformation empowers and upholds the changes that you want to make in your belief system. Positive, uplifting beliefs are foundational for the transformation of behavior and the actions that you take. So as you smell the oils going around, how does it make you feel? I want you to know that change is possible. You can transform your life and have the desires of your heart. You are capable of so much more than you realize. Uncover your greatness. Find your voice and master your message. Don't put it off any longer. Remember that procrastination I talked about? There are 3 ways that I can empower and equip you on your journey. Choose 1, 2, or all 3, whatever suits you. Number 1, if you want a transformation for yourself, I encourage you to get my book, and start working with Young Living essential oils. They have helped me to feel better, do more, gain clarity, confidence, and even overcome my fear of flying. Can you believe that I used to be the girl in the back of the room, sat in the back row, stayed invisible, didn't say a word, and now look at me. I'm up here. So talk about courage, confidence. Yes, that's been one of my transformations. And number 2, yes, that is a copy of the Lori Factor, which I can sign for any of you here to get help. Number 2 is if you want to go deeper, let's have a discovery call about breakthrough coaching and see if that's a right fit for you. There's certain tools and techniques I use with my coaching. And number 3, if you're ready to share your story, invest in my writing services, which can include writing your book. So I want to thank all of you for allowing me to share my story with you today. Thank you, Mary, for taking a chance on extending this invitation to be here, and I am so honored, and I'll get choked up if I start talking. Great Mary is just know she's awesome. I just honor you and I thank you. So I encourage all of you, break up with self-sabotage and procrastination and embrace the endless love of God. Make this a holiday season to treasure and remember.
Thank you so much, Lori, for sharing with us.
I have a quick question. Lori, how can we get your book? How much is your book?
So today I brought copies, and they're $20, and there's some of them up front. So that's one.
People could go up front if they want.
Yes.
Okay.
Questions or
the hope that she's found from sick and